Welcome to a One Punch Man the Strongest video for the global version. Today I'll be going through my predicted timeline until the awaited SSR Plus era. This order is not 100% confirmed and is only my interpretation, as the timeline is inspired by the timeline within the Southeast Asian server. This timeline includes both units that will be available within the banner and the hero backup stick, with both dates coinciding with each other. However, this might not be exactly accurate, as there was a potential leak during the end of Metalbat's backup stick with this screenshot that I managed to take right before Silverfang was the backup stick unit. As you can see here, Genos, Goro and Hellfire Flame were available to purchase, but we were not able to since we didn't have the SSR bracelets, which knowing Moonton, they may release these units quite early. But in my timeline, Genos is considered a banner pull-up unit, as the dates are a lot more closer to each other, so I'm just gonna disregard it, but you never know. So if there are any unexpected changes by Moonton, I'll try to make an update video as soon as possible. With this disclaimer out of the way, I will present to you my timeline. So this is my timeline on what SSRs I will be pulling for, where red means debut and the blue means a rerun. I am only going to pull 5 LSSRs during this timeline, but I might pull a potential 6 being Watchdog Man if I feel lucky or will spend funds in this game. I consider myself to be a low spender as I only buy the backup hero sticks as well as the $4 value pass for extra sweeps, so I only spend around 20 USD every 2 months, which isn't a lot. So with that being said, let's go into each SSR. Starting off in May, we have Phoenix Man. He basically has Deep Sea King's damage, but to the whole back row as well as burning them. He's good during the Guru meta, which should last for about 6 months. He's good for the monster team as he's the only unit being able to revive and is very useful for tournaments. He will counter back row attackers such as RMG and Sonic V2, where he's a bit more useful in PvP. However, he will be countered by Awakened Tatsumaki and Awakened Vaccine Man via their force field debuff. So for free to play and low spenders, I recommend to skip this unit. For mid spenders, I recommend to pull, and for whales, they could just buy any unit, he'll still be very useful. As you can see, I will be saving my black tickets for 2 upcoming Espers, which will be useful for the Guru meta. In June, we will have Max Power Genos. He's the best PvP unit during Guru meta as his AoE DPS is insane. He has Unyielding once, and his talent page allows for up to 2 revives, which is kind of triggering, in PvP especially. However, he is a very expensive unit with around 500 to 700 Star Ascensions cards to be used in order to get high HP and crit. He will soon be encountered by Bomb's Core and Drive Knight's passive, so Genos' meta span is around 4 to 5 months. For free to play and low spenders, I recommend to skip and save for the upcoming Esper units, as they provide much more value and are a lot cheaper. For mid spenders, I recommend this is a good pull, and for whales, this is a must pull in order to be competitive in PvP, as he will be annoying in the live clash. Personally, I'm going to skip Genos as he requires a lot of investment. So my first predicted hero backup unit after Goro will be Drive Knight, which will be within June to August. He's a very versatile unit where he can play as a DPS and a tank. He's great for Bomb Era as a high-tech unit, as Bomb's Core requires each type. His passive grants 40% ult damage reduction, which is very good for AoE attackers such as Genos. He's quite a niche character as he has a very unique mechanic, where his first ult is free and attacks the whole row, then he transforms. Then every ult after that requires energy and does more damage. However, his drawback is that his speed is permanently reduced by 90%, so he will always be the last speed unit. So especially when bossing, he will be after the boss before the new turn. For free-to-play players, I recommend you skip him. For low to mid spenders, I recommend to pull as he will be the best high-tech unit for quite a while. And whales you can pull too. My preference is that I will pull for him if he is a hero backup unit. If not, then I'll skip in order to save my black tickets. Coming up in July is the first must-pull unit, which Moonton keeps teasing us through in-game events. This unit is Red Mosquito Girl, who is a high single target DPS unit, which damages for 500% of her attack as well as lifesteal. Her meta duration will last until SSR Plus begins to roll out. She will be essential for PvE bossing as she will become the main DPS and tank due to her passive and lifesteal. The craze around her is that her 5-star awakening is super OP, where her passive follow-up starts from turn 1 and becomes a PvP god, even better than Garo. However, you will need a pull for the keep save, which I will be pulling for. Her insignia badge is also very cheap as it requires demon badges, which you can just purchase from the mall. For everyone, this is a must pull unit and you will not last without her. If you are low on black tickets and need a save for the rerun, then wait until then. Trust me, you will regret it otherwise. In August, we have a back-to-back must-pull unit as well, being Awakened Terrible Tornado. She is a great AoE DPS unit as she applies force field debuff on all enemies for 1 turn. She has great synergy with Monsterized Chose or 5-star Vaccine Man due to their passive dot damage. She has great survivability due to her lifesteal, just like Red Mosquito Girl. She will dominate in life clutch, and there's no way of winning otherwise without having her. Her keepsafe has a crazy damage output, going from 150 to 180% like Goketsu. However, you will have to choose between RMG and her, as we will not have enough keepsafe tickets to get both. She will counter reviving units such as Zombie Man and Phoenix Man. She removes seal energy, which works a bit odd, where if you seal 2 energy via Watchdog Man or King, she will remove the seal and the enemy seal will be deleted permanently, which is quite niche. The only drawback is that Genos will counter her due to his massive damage output, but until Bomb's core comes, she counters Bomb's shields, which is when her meta really begins. For all types of spenders, this is a must pull, and PvP will not be the same without her. Fortunately, I will have enough tickets to pull both RMG and Tatsumaki back to back, but I will be unable to pull for a keepsafe due to the lack of tickets. For our next hero backup stick unit, we have Suiryu during August to October. He is a backline DPS unit who attacks the whole back row. His passive has charge, like G4, which amplifies his damage even more, so he's strong against Bomb's shields. He will not be in the meta for long if he's not heavily invested, so he is quite expensive. Other than that, there's no reason to really pull for him if you already have RMG. So for free to play players, I recommend to skip and save the black tickets. For low to mid spenders, only pull if you have enough grappler materials, because as we all know, there have been a lot of grappler units within the first part of this year. So if you really want to use your revert cards for him, then be my guest. And for Wales, he is a good unit to have. Personally, I will pull for him if he is the hero backup unit, but I don't think I will be investing in him as heavily like I am with Silverfang, where I'll only just 3-star him. Other than that, if he is a banner pull, then I will skip him. In September, we have Extreme Amai Mask, who is a support unit with great utility as he provides AoE heals and speed boost. He's a strong PvP unit, whereas in PvE he's not so much. His ultimate is free, which allows you to save energy for other ultimates. His passive provides tenacity for allies, as well as a self-ult reduction by 15%, which can be further increased to 45% if he's faster than 3 enemies. So think as his passive as a much better Silverfang. However, in your lineup, you need to have at least 2 to 3 other main DPS units, such as Genos, RMG, or ATT. For free to play and low spenders, I recommend to skip as he's not very useful during PvE content. For mid spenders, I recommend to pull if you really want to stay competitive in PvP, as he changes the scene quite a lot. And for Wales, he's a good pull to have. Personally, I'm going to skip him, but if he wasn't clumped within all these good units, then I would have pulled for him. Now we have another must pull unit that will change the game drastically, being Bomb or Bangpoo. He is an amazing unit with a tanky core which provides up to 480% more HP for the whole team. He also has unyielding for one time, and he can also decrease enemy healing. His meta holds strong even after the SSR Plus era, as he is commonly used in live clash with other SSR Plus units. He will massively counter SSR Genos and partially RMG, as she will be unable to lifesteal due to his shields. For all spenders, this is a must pull unit, and you'll seriously kick yourself if you don't get him. If you have to wait for a rerun, then be my guest, but you should really pull for him straight away. The final hero backup unit before they do reruns will be Hellfire Flame during the October to December. He's a support unit that will absorb all types of dot and injuries. He'll be great with Bomb Core, as his passive provides bomb shields to be even stronger. If you skip Sonic version 2, which I'll talk about very soon, Hellfire is a great alternative to fill duelist slot for Bomb era. However, he is quite expensive as he requires lots of HP in order to stay alive for his passive to be active for Bomb. So for free to play players, I recommend to skip as he's very close to the SSR Plus era, so his meta won't really be for long. For low to mid spenders, pull if you didn't want Sonic version 2, other than that skip otherwise, unless you like him. And for Wales, he's a good pull to have. Personally, if he is the hero backup unit, I will pull for him, but if he's within the banner pool, I will skip, as his meta span isn't really long, and I would recommend saving black tickets. Coming in November is Sonic version 2, to which I have had experience to play with, as he has now become a free unit within the Southeast Asian servers. He is a high single target DPS, which provides 600% attack compared to RMG's 500% attack. He is much like RMG, where he attacks the back line. His ult provides self-heal, which is great for survivability, where he may be unable to die during the first initial rounds. His meta span holds long after the SSR Plus era, as he becomes a support unit for his speed and tenacity, where he is able to provide a speed boost for the rest of his row if he is 5-starred. He is quite an expensive character, as he does require speed gear to be super effective, especially in PvP, and he needs his keepsafes to be super good, which free to play won't be able to get, as we will not have enough keepsafe tickets in time. Overall, for free to play and low spenders, he is a good pull as he will be useful during the SSR Plus era, so if you really want to pull for him then go for it, otherwise save your black tickets for the upcoming era. Then for mid and high spenders, he's a must pull unit. Due to my experience with him in the Southeast Asian servers, I will be pulling for him, but within the rerun as I won't have enough tickets to get him when he first debuts. To end off the year, we will have Awakened Vaccine Man, who's basically just ATT but for monsters. He is able to revive up to 2 times, which is quite handy. However, ATT will still be your main DPS unit since his force field effect is much weaker. The downside with Awakened Vaccine Man is that both Monsterized Chose and Vaccine Man's passive does not stack with him. His meta isn't long since he's close to the SSR Plus era, as when the new Child Emperor comes, he will be able to negate dot. So for free to play and low spenders, I recommend to skip this unit, as ATT is a much better unit than him. For mid spenders, you can pull him as he is basically ATT but for monsters, so he will help out very much in the monster tournaments. And for whales, he is a very good pull. Personally, I will skip him and save my tickets. And finally, to start off 2024, right before the SSR Plus era, we have Gale Wind. He is a stunner that attacks in a cross shape and stuns 2 enemies, and he can stun 3 with his keep safe. His passive allows for follow-up with internal injury just like Garo, but he can follow up to 4 times instead of 3. He's great for both PvP and PvE, as his stun is very useful, especially with formal gear, as he can stun a third or even a half of the whole field. However, he does get somewhat countered by SSR Plus Metal Bat coming soon, but that is quite a while. His insignia badge is also cheap like RMG, where he acquires demon badges, which can be bought from the mall. Overall, for free to play and low spenders, he is a good pull, and you should pull for him if you don't want to save your black tickets for the upcoming SSR Plus units. For dolphins and whales, he's a must pull unit as he's very useful for all types of content. And that brings an end to my recommendations and my predicted timeline. These are only my suggestions, and you will need to decide for yourself whether you want to pull for aesthetic reasons or for preferences that benefit your own team lineups. I would like to give credit to One Strike Dog as this video was inspired by his video, as well as One Punch Man The Strongest Tips website for providing character data from Southeast Asian servers. Both of these references will be provided in the description below, so please take a look at both of them. The future of this channel will probably include content such as upcoming SSR analysis and free to play / low spender guides for PvE content such as Club Boss Boros. Other than that, that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe, and feel free to comment down below on any questions about my video or possible future content. Until next time.